the meeting to order at 6:30 this evening. Roll call. Representative Scott, Representative Norman, Representative Chase, DeCombe, Fritzie, and Powers present. Representative Gardner, are you on Zoom with us?
I don't see him.
Okay, so, okay. So Representative Gardner, I knew that he's got an excused absence from us. Yep. So tonight we're discussing and as I'm gonna let Town Manager Burt explain to us the RTM review of the current tax abatement agreements in Groton. And then we'll go to the opioid settlement, which is pretty straightforward, okay? Town Manager Burt, can you explain it to us as far as where we stand with?
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question? How many people do you need for a quorum? So we've got 5 at that lead. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Are we good?
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You know, this is our town, I too, you know? Anyway, yes, John, can you explain to me exactly how this review would do anything to change the documents that we have before us that were presented by Town Clerk McCauger, please?
I mean, to preface it, I mean, the RTM can look at whatever they want to look at. However, the RTM does not veto or weigh in on tax agreements. Other than we hit TIF ones, you will, only because we wrote it into the actual ordinance. Just like you don't do revenues at budget time, you do grants that come in unbudgeted for 10,000 and over, and then transfers of 10,000 and over. However, tax abatements don't go through the RTM because, again, just like you don't do the revenue in a budget time, they've never been sent through the RTM.
So we appreciate Representative Thomas's view here is for all of us to look at, to review these things. They're very interesting documents. I found them very educational, and we appreciate his wanting for us to review, but as Town Manager Burt said, there's not much we're gonna do to change it.
And if you look, there's only
There's 5, right?
there's 5 of them. And
Correct.
if you look at them, I went over them with Mary Gardner, and we're in compliance with those other ones. And obviously, we're working through some issues on Branford.
Right, and as I pointed out to you on page 13, miscellaneous section 16E, it specifically states where that has to go. So for all those that want to reference that page and read it, they're more than welcome to understand the agreement that we as taxpayers in the town are involved in with the city and the town council. Okay, that's done. We're gonna go to national opioid settlement acceptance.
Tammy,
There's an attendee with a hand up.
no, it's it doesn't have to take your family.
See, do we have that? I don't have that piece of paper. Yeah, I thought I had it. I don't have.
Lots of opioids.
Yeah, we got
Look at
lots of-
everything I sent to you, so there's all the stuff.
Yeah, there was. Thanks. So this is for us to accept the grant from us for the opioid settlement money. And what is that number? 28,000 over how many years?
You want me to do an overview?
Yes, John, that would be great.
Okay, as you recall, we had joined into the National Opioid Settlement Agreement. This is just this. Oh, Jill's saying something. What, Jill? Am I okay to talk?
He's driving, so.
Okay, am I okay? I'm gonna mute a couple. Hold on a sec.
I just figured her.
Okay. Anyways, this is just for one year of the distributor part of the grant. No, it's not a grant, it's a settlement agreement. It's an award of an agreement through court. The way it's gonna work is there's gonna be 2 categories of awards. There's the distributor part. That's what this is, year 1 of 18 years. we anticipate we'll get about the same amount for each year for 18 years. This is only to accept year one. We're also anticipating another payment this year. There's a category for the manufacturer, J&J. That's going to work a little differently. That's going to be a 9-year award, but they're going to front load it for the first 3 years. I think about 80% or so, it's either 75 or 80% of, I think it's 80% of the money will come up in the first 3 years. So we're anticipating that to come at some point here. It'll likely, we're hoping it's going to be more significant than this amount. We'll see. So right now we're just looking at one payment for one time. The town council wanting to get the money into the hands. No, I should also mention a minimum of 70% of it must be spent on future opioid remediation. If you vary from that, then you gotta put some public information out on it. But Community Speaks Out was recommended as the awardee for just this only one payment, not future ones. The council is talking about getting a process in place to determine future awardees. But they'll spend it exclusively on opioid remediation. And I don't know who saw their present. I think it was last week was their presentation to the council. They went real thoroughly into what they do. So again, this is just a one-time award. So we'll be back again when we get the second amount for this year. I know Ledgely has some interest later, but when we get the next amount, which again, hopefully will be more significant, we'll be back again.
So what is the amount this year?
22,263 and 86 cents.
Is that the number we have to move?
Yeah, I'm gonna,
That's the money, John, going to Community Speaks Out, correct?
Correct. And again, one time, this does not
Yeah.
apply to future monies.
Can I make a motion?
you can make a
I'd
motion.
like to make a motion that 22,263.86 be awarded to Community Speaks Out. Second.
I don't have it, now I got it. Okay, we take a vote. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed? The abstentions? Seeing none? we've concluded our business for this evening.
Excuse me for my coughing. I had COVID and I've got some lingering cough.
So you need to quit smoking.
Yeah.
So we should tell Joe.
So, another question. Yeah, I saw the emergency worker ordinance because it hasn't even
It's just there for,
Right.
for discussion. Okay, good.
Correct.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
And,
it's gonna be coming to this committee probably in September.
right,
Right.
Because
The council's gonna, the council just had the public hearing last night. It'll come to the cow next week. And then if they approve, then it'll go on the September 6th council agenda. And the only changes from last time are the ones that came up at the RTM. It adds in the volunteers, it adds in the sub-base civilian employees, and then it makes it clear that if you divorce, you are not eligible to go back to apply for more funds.
Hey, we saw the draft, I think. Everybody saw the draft ordinance. Did you see it, Al?
Yeah, what you have does include that. I'm just saying from last time you reviewed it, those are the differences, those three.
I thought we got the draft ordinance.
We
Yeah, you
did.
do.
Yeah, what I sent to you was what
You sent
the
it.
changes.
This is
It's not- just
No,
what
you sent us
said.
the link to the website with the
Right.
updated ordinance.
My apologies. Can I step in? I'm sorry, I'm on my phone.
I saw-
John, didn't they also limit the amount? So my
Oh,
understanding
you're
was
right,
that
you're right. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. What did they end up with? 3,000 was it? Let me look here.
I want to say it was max of 3,000
Yeah,
or
sorry, I totally forgot about
50%
that.
up to 3,000 or up to 5,000.
3,000,
The 50% of your taxes up to 3,000?
correct.
Okay.
So without going into great detail, because it's not before us, we've discussed it once before, okay? And I don't know as though we're gonna accept it or reject it, we can veto it again or not. The thing that I don't want to do is to revisit the same thing over and over and over again. So, my suggestion is to all of us on this committee to do their review. I've done a whole bunch of them. And I think it's important that we review it. I think it's important that we look at the state statute that governs both the state police and public servants for the state of Connecticut, because if we're gonna model some kind of abatement like this, and I'm not really for categorizing it, I've said it again, I'll continue to say it, I don't like categorizing our employees, and, you know, they have to be employees of the town, that's the most important thing, not part of the federal government. Because it's a whole different category, a whole different job description, and I can print thousands of pages of it, okay? So when we do this, and then you get back to us, let's have some really good discussion. So please bring all the information you have to someone here from everything, okay? Thank you. That's all I have to say. So I have a motion?
Do I have to ask one question?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Is this ordinance a one-time deal? Or does it apply to everybody?
As
An
far
ongoing
as-
ordinance, but it's of course a very limited number of people that it would apply to.
Oh, I know that, but I'm wondering if we ever change, in other words, I think that if there's other incidents, we actually should review them. And there should be a new ordinance for it. And then the reason I say that is because in the meantime, I'm hoping we can get the state to take some action to do a better job than just giving somebody a little bit of an abatement. You know, that right now, $3,000 is not going to make a difference to a person's abilities. 5, whereas $1 million, if the state would run an insurance policy for those people who were killed in action, you know, of $1 million, then they wouldn't need this abatement.
And I think
that's what our ultimate goal is, because that would cost us a lot less money than $3,000 a year for 30 years. That's what I'm.
Body asked the town manager and the assessor, is there a reimbursement from the state for this?
Well, this
It's
is
a
the,
state thing.
this is why I asked the question I asked.
No, this is not, this is just a law authorized. If you look, it's like 2 sentences in the state statute. It's all just authorizes the towns to do this. They don't reimburse at all. And you can set it to what you
A
want.
lot of towns that have done this.
There's 7 towns in the state of Connecticut that have done it, okay? Out of 164 towns, okay? Or whatever we have, right? What do we got? 169, there's 7, okay? But like I say, I don't want to go into this until we have it before us so that we can do it, okay?
I can ask one question though, there was a public hearing last night, I seem to recall that nobody spoke either in favor, or what person did? Were they in favor or against it?
Representative Thomas spoke in favor under the public hearing. Later on, we had 1 or 2 that spoke against
Yeah, in the regular meeting.
in the regular meeting, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't think it would be somewhat appropriate as we like spoke on it as a body that day already. That's the reason I didn't get up and speak, even though we did give our feedback, or at least the moderator gave back our feedback as a body. Well, they took most of the feedback except for the federal employees, which was 1, so.
So let's not discuss it further and let's adjourn and we'll discuss it when it's before the, before our commission. Our committee. There you go. All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay.
Unanimous.
next meeting, next one.
What time is it?
6:50.
For the assessment.